So, you want to get a job easily. Well, over the last 29 years, I've probably interviewed over 5,000 applicants for jobs. And now I'm going to show you how to get a job easily. Step 1. How to make your CV stand out above all the others. Print a photo of yourself, passport sized, on the top right hand corner of your CV. A nice head and shoulders shot with a big smile. Imagine you're a movie star. I know that you don't need a photograph on your CV and your employer can't discriminate. But hey, it will make an impression. And this is the first step to getting a job easily. Include an email with your address, but make sure it's a neutral address. Now these emails are not acceptable. Include your date of birth and nationality or place of birth. I know again your employer can't discriminate, but you can't beat openness and honesty. And your employer will appreciate you telling them this, because the last thing they want is you hiding behind anti-employer legislation. Now that you have your basic information on your CV, what should you be putting on next? Well, let me tell you that unless your CV is very concise, clear and easy to read, it's not going to get read properly and it's likely to be glanced over. Your photograph has made a fantastic first impression. So how do we add to that? What we need to do is put a brief mission statement about why you are the right person for your potential employer. Of course, you could be applying for any job, so what might your mission statement say? Well, why not try this? Most importantly, your prospective employer wants to know what you can do for them. They don't actually want to know what you can do. So that mission statement, as an example, addresses both of these things. It tells the employer what you can do for them and obviously tells them about you. If you have any experience in any of these particular positions or in the position that you're applying for, then you should add that into your mission statement as well. Not having experience, as you will see from the mission statement, does not degrade the integrity of what you are trying to say. The other things that you put on your CV are all less important but are still necessary. Your qualifications will make a big difference to a human resources manager who has to justify his decision to his boss, but they're not going to make a great deal of difference if it's the boss that's interviewing you in the first place. Do list your qualifications, but do not be verbose. Keep them short and simple. Highlight any strengths. Otherwise, they're going to be glossed over and ignored. Your employment history is also part of your CV, and you should list your last or current employment. However, there are traps. If you have a long list of employment history, then your employer may stop reading your application and dismiss it immediately. Why? Because you're not likely to be hanging around very long, are you? So you should list the last 1 or 2 employment histories, or your current employer if you are still employed, and give the reason why you have left or want to leave, but make sure that the reason you give is a positive reason or at least a neutral one. No negativeness. Identifying your pastimes and hobbies on your CV is perhaps more important than you think. This can and probably will be used to judge your character, and will say an awful lot about what sort of person you really are. And here is a list of some do's and don'ts, and you shouldn't need me to tell you why each one is a do or each one is a don't. References are becoming ever more important in today's search for employment, and your employer may or may not pursue a reference if they're going to offer you a position. But please, 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 don't put reference available on request on your CV. It drives your prospective employer nuts. Make it easy. Put the name and address, the contact phone number of a reference on your CV, ready for the employer if they want to pursue it. It's that simple. And finally, the overall essence of your CV is to make it stand out from any others that might be on your prospective employer's desk. And the photograph is absolutely key to doing that. Keep the CV short, keep it simple, and keep it to the point. Don't tell any lies, but be clever about how you tell the truth. And now you're ready for part 2. How to apply for a job that doesn't exist.